Hi, everybody. Let me just find you guys over in Scrapbookers so we're all together. There we are. Hi, Lucille, Kathy, Katie, Alice. So glad you could join today. Seems like it's been forever since I've been live. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, and maybe some of you know I was in Utah with Tammy, and we were busy doing some stuff down there, and now I'm back. And yeah, this is where we're at. So I just have a couple things I want to share before we even get started. Sorry, I had to take those off because those two I technically didn't buy it from Tammy, but she's got those colors coming. So that's why those colors are in the store. So you're kind of wondering, what is all this sitting on Bonnie's craft table this morning? Okay, I've got to let you guys in on something. These are prills. And making flowers, these make the most beautiful centers of flowers that you have ever seen. So here are some flowers I made a couple of weeks ago. And those are prills in the center. Actually, they're these ones right here. You had me at yellow. And they just add that next level to your project. You don't have to use them in the center of flowers. You can use them any place you want to use them. If you want just a little texture on your project or texture on the front of an album, lay down some dry clear art glitter glue. Dry clear art glitter glue. Yes, there it is. And it will make the most amazing add-ons to your project. Hang on a second here. I'm trying to get rid of the banner. Sorry about that. So check it out. There are 44 different colors. So as you can see, I've only got a small little smattering of them. There are a ton more. They're beautiful. They're amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on more of them. So I just had to share that one right off the top of this. I got so much to show you guys today, and we're going to do the Vellum kit. It's kind of going to be a bit of both. So prills, go check them out. PRILLS. There's all kinds of them. There's got to be a color that you love. So I'm just going to set these aside and move on to the other things that I wanted to share this morning with you guys. So while I was down there, I decided that I should bring back this flower shaping essential kit. It's a 5-piece kit. It's smaller than the 13-piece kit. And the reason I'm using my 5-piece kit today is last week I lost my stylist. Yes, I have this stylist, but it won't work. Well, it will work, but I also lost some of my nibs. They fell in my recycling, and I heard it, and I didn't proceed to find out what was going on or what was in there, and I sent it to the recycling depot. Not a happy woman about that. So I'm going to use this shaping kit today, and I thought I'd just share with you what comes in it. You get this really nice, smaller mat that comes from Heartfelt, nice and thick for making all those beautiful texture elements from the flowers. It comes with a stylus, and it comes with these 3 nibs. And you know what? As much as I like my big kit, in a pinch, I can make this work. Or let's say you're just starting out in flower making and you don't want to make the investment in the big kit. At least invest in this kit, because you've got at least those 3 nibs to work with, and they're all amazing. And we're going to create with these guys today, so you're going to see just exactly how it works. And you know what I would do with this? I'd get myself a little bag of some kind, and I'd keep it in that. and listen when you hear things fall down on the floor around your craft area. And don't just go, it was nothing, and then you find out that your stylus has gone to recycling. Okay, we're not going to say any more about that because it just makes me really annoyed that I did that. And let's see if I'm in here. Yes. Hello, Tomalee. How are you today? So glad you could join us. So this is the kit I'm going to be using. I'm going to set it aside because I got a couple other things to show you. And yeah, there'll be a few. There's going to be the one I'm going to do on Friday. So I'm doing another live on Friday. And on Friday, we're going to do a different card kit. Hello, Marguerite. But I got lots to show you. We are going to probably put some of these beautiful pearls on these cards we're making today. No, they don't call for them, but I just think they need a little bit more bling. So Tammy's got these in the store right now. They're beautiful. They graduate in size. So you've got a nice variety of colors. So check these out. They're in the store. Kaisercraft self-adhesive pearls. They're awesome. And then while I was down there, these are some of the charms that Country Craft Creation sells. And you know what? They're perfect for cards because they're so, I hope they don't fall off. They're so flat that they're not going to add any bulk. Yes, they are, Marguerite, those pearls. So I brought home a couple of these. I have a feeling some of this is going to end up on my cards today, but check these out. Look under Country Craft Creations Charms, and you should be able to find both of them. Flat and flat. They come in 3 different colors. So a gold, a kind of a, I'm going to call it a bronze, and a silver. And same with the, where you can see both wings. So I've got those to show you. And then just to tease you a little bit of something that's coming down the road. I don't know if you've seen this collection. Sorry, it's falling apart on me because I've been sharing it and showing it. It's the Elegant Mosaic collection from Heartfelt. And this collection is full of, oh, just some beautiful colors. So I'm just going to do it this way, okay? I'm going to make sure that I can, yeah, I can. This is the paper pack. And Tammy has some new dies in the store from Heartfelt. Cut, create, matte. And these dies will cut out these shapes perfectly. Plus, if you've got the tag die, it'll cut this shape out perfectly. So this, it's just, I think boho when I see this. I don't even know if that's a term. Look at this one. It's just stunning. So I'm not going to bore you with it all. Yes, I am, because it's just so beautiful. Look at these. And I'm going to show you something in a second. You don't have to fussy cut these. There's a die that'll cut these out for you. So I'm going to leave one of these out so that I can share that. I know I'm doing all my jelly stuff here at the beginning. So let's leave that one out. Hello, Orla. And it just keeps going. So we're going to be working with this, the tags, over the next little while. That's on my table. And it also comes with the most beautiful stamps. Look at this stamp. Check out this stamp. Let's see if I can get it, that you're going to see it. Look at how intricate this stamp is. And let me tell you, when you ink it up, let me just pull one out here. Let's do the green one since it's sitting right there. Don't lose the dauber. When you ink it up with the archival ink, Oh my gosh, the way they stamp, they're absolutely stunning. You could so use this on the front of a project. You could match whatever ink you want to stamp this in to your project. And then you've got another element. It's almost like a doily, but you can make your doilies any color you want to make them now. Or you can pop up the different pieces and make some incredible, incredible embellishments. So this is the Elegant Mosaic, and it's two stamps. So it has this one, and it has this border stamp. And then it comes with this crazy die that has 4 layers. Okay, 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, and 4. And you stamp the image 4 times, and then you just cut them out, as many as you want to have cut out. So in this case, I'm missing a couple. Not sure where they disappeared on me. Maybe they're no. And then I just went and I stamped out or die cut out what I wanted. And you know what? Don't throw these away, because you could then go back, die cut out this big part, and you've got another embellishment for a project. Hi, Julianne. How are you today? I'm doing well, Orla. It's a Tuesday, and I know it's not my normal day to be with you guys, but I missed Friday. Had a big busy day on Friday, and I said to Tammy, I'd like to go live on Tuesday because I've got so much to show and so much to talk about that I hope I won't bore you before we actually get to the project. So this is the Elegant Mosaic that I just showed you. And then, as if that wasn't enough, then they came up with the Floral Mosaic. Actually, they came up with 3 different mosaics. And I haven't even had a chance to step. Hello, Miss Sally. Am I making you jealous yet, Sally? I have some new stuff here. So this is one of the different stamps, and it's going to stamp a completely different pattern. It's going to stamp a pattern that looks like this one right here. And you can take the die. You can take this die. I believe it's going to be this one. Yes. And die cut. See where I'm going with this? Die cut this out of this paper. Isn't that amazing? Or you can take one of the smaller dies. Let's say what you wanted is you wanted just this part of it. Whoops, place it the right way so it's going to make sense. Look at that. You can die cut every layer of this mosaic out. It is so versatile. And like I say, we're going to be playing with this over the next little while. And this mosaic also has a stamp border. And don't want to get them mixed up. Okay, here it is. This stamp border. So another one. So if you can't make up your mind, just pick one. Like I say, they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. So this is the Floral. And like I say, we're going to be using these over the next couple of weeks. I don't even know what I'm making with it yet, because they are, Sally. They're just, I can't get over at how nicely these guys stamp, because I always went, they're so intricate. How are they going to stamp? But I used the archival inks, and the stamping was, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So this one is the Bursting Bloom. So it looks like, it's not on this one. Let me see. Maybe it's on the other one, or maybe it is on that one, and I'm not bursting. Yeah, it is on. No, it's on this one. Here we are. Get the right paper. So you get through 2 I think you get 2 of each. Yeah, you get 2 of each design. So you're going to get 2 sheets, 2 like this and 2 like this in that collection pack. And its dye is right here. And so here you go. Later. Yeah. Sorry. Had to talk to my husband for a second. So this dye, let me just see if I'm getting this right. Yes, there we go. It goes like so. And you could cut this mosaic out. I know, Julianne. When Tammy said I could bring them all home, I almost started to cry because I went, oh my goodness, this, I don't know what it is about the colors in this, but there's just something about the colors and the designs that are just making me, I just needed to have it. Look at this. You could even do this little guy. No fussy cutting required. Just put them through your die cutting machine. Sorry, it's hard when I got it lift up to get it right, angled up right. But you know what? They're so easy to line up. So that's my little jelly that I'm going to be making, you guys. So we're just going to set this stuff aside. And then I think I did them all. I don't think I missed any. I got the burst. Yeah, I got them all. So then I got to show you. This is what I did. I just did some stamping. And so this is all just stamped and inked. This isn't even good paper. This is 110-pound scrap paper I had laying around. And then I've just taken my stylist and I manipulated them on the back to, get some dimension, added some pop dots, and there's a layer. Could you see that on a project or on the front of a card? And like I say, I was just playing around. So they were just the colors that happened to be on my desk at that point in time, but they just turned out beautiful. So that's coming down the pipe. We're going to be working with that. So I'm going to leave these here. I'm going to leave my little gems, my little pearls, and I'm going to bring the kit in because I've talked enough. And I didn't mean to talk that long, but I had just so much to share. So I'll have to try to remember to tell people in the description, if you want to miss all that stuff, you got to start about 22 minutes in. Anyway, yes, it is. Sorry, Sally. I was just thrilled when she said I could bring it home with me. All right. So Tammy got in this kit from Heartfelt Creations called the Delicate Vellum Floral. And it makes these 3 cards. And the last time I checked, there were still a few of these left in the shop. I didn't get a chance to check this morning, but when I checked last night, there were still a few of these left in the store. Now, I am just going to follow this as a guide. Mine might not quite come out exactly like this for 2 reasons. One, I'm using some different inks, and 2, I might shape my flowers a little differently than they're shaped here. But this kit, if you've never done any flower shaping, or if you've never worked on vellum before, this would be a great way to introduce yourself to it. Because in this kit, you get everything. You get the frills to go in the centers. You get the crystal clear and the frosting, which are, give me 1 second. Where did I put them? Right here. So they're using the crystal clear. That's this one with the very iridescent pieces in it. And then they're using the frosting powder, which is this one here. And Tammy does sell both of these in the store. And I believe these pearls might be, I think these pearls are go green. I'm not 100% sure, but they sure do look like it. Let's see if it says on the back here. Prills. Yeah, it's the Go Green Prills. So I'm just going to leave that sitting like that for now. So you get, like I say, you get everything you need. And everything is pre-stamped, which is awesome. So you get 3 card bases. They come in these nice little baggies. There's the one I was playing with to make sure I kind of knew what I was going to be doing with you guys today. Got to turn these guys over because it's this side we want to be playing with. And these are your special cards. These aren't your cards that go to people that don't really appreciate these kind of cards. These are special cards. And then, if that wasn't enough, they inked and die cut out the leaves. And using things. So this is one of the leaves I shaped a little bit. And then they have already stamped your vellum, embossed it, and cut it out for you. So all we're going to be doing is coloring them. And I colored a couple because, like I say, I just wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing, because I'm using a little bit different colors because I just didn't have the colors that they were requesting here. Now, and on that note, I'm going to tell you another piece of news is Tammy is bringing in all of the archival inks. So all of the archival inks that she has some archival inks in the store right now, but she's bringing in all of the archival Ranger inks. And it's this one. And the ones that were the design series by Wendy. I'm not even going to try and say her last name. So those are all going to be arriving and in the store in the near future. And yes, it's an exciting time to get all this stuff in the store, because this is going to take us to that next level with flowers. It's going to take us to that next level with stamping. It's just going to be an amazing time. So let's get started, because we have a few flowers to color. And I don't know if you guys are working with me. I hope I don't bore you. Oh, yes. They also gave you this inking gluing mat, which I am not going to use. But if you feel the need to, feel free. I haven't quite decided if this was an oops or if this was meant to be in the kit. So they sent in this kit 3 6x6 sheets. And so my thoughts with these are you could cut them down and either use them when you're mailing it. I'm not really sure what these sheets are for. Nothing in the instructions explains them. I don't see them listed anywhere on those instructions, and I kind of did look. So I'm not sure what they're for, but my suggestion would be you could line the inside of your envelope with them, because you're going to have to make envelopes for these cards because they're a unique size, and that's where your envelope punch board is going to come in handy. Or you could actually fussy cut and maybe use some of these on those cards if you so wanted to. Now today I'm not, but it's more for a time thing that I'm not going to go down that little rabbit hole. All right, so let's get all the pieces out that we're actually going to ink and shape and do all that fun stuff. I should have had these out first. Sorry for that noise. And I am going to get my mat in here. Whoops. See, this is what happens. I get my desk all covered and stuff, and then you hear things drop, and they end up in your recycling bin, and they end up going into the garbage or recycling. All right. So maybe I am going to use this because I do need something to ink on. So the trick with vellum is you always color. You don't color on the side that's been embossed. You color on the back of it. That's the trick with vellum. So if you're like me, you'd probably want to make sure that you have them all turned upside down to start with. So I'm going to do all of this inking, and then I am going to do my shaping. So it called for in the instructions, it said to use, let me find it, red carnation, bright tangelo, and emerald green. So I'm using library green, carnation red, and monarch orange. Those are the three colors I'm going to use. So of course the green is for the branches. They're the green. Hi Tina, so nice you could join today. But yes, so remember, just because they tell you to use a certain color, go through your inks. You'd be surprised the colors of inks you might have on hand already. But keep in mind, Tammy's going to be bringing in this whole selection. So let's get started. So I'm just going to open these ink pads. I'm just going to move this stuff over to this side, as usual. So this is the carnation red. I'm going to do that. And hopefully you guys aren't going to be able to see it, but I've already told you what it is, so you're good. Carnation red and monarch orange. Those are the two colors we are going to use. And we are going to start with, let me see if I got the right dauber, the monarch orange. And I'm just going to stamp my dauber. And I just like to tap or rub. And I'm just putting that monarch orange sort of in the center of the flower. And I think I'm going to change it up. And I want a little bit of red in there too. Yeah, I think I meant to put the red down instead of the orange. That's what I meant to do, because I was looking at this going, that's the wrong color for the middle. So you kind of want to go to a darker color in the center of your flower in this case. And then you're going to take the lighter color. So I'm thinking the orange, red is the dark color, the orange is the lighter color. And then you just push it out to the end of the petal. And see how the lines soften? I think it's a little hard on that pink paper. Give me a second. Let me get a white piece of paper now that I'm looking at this. But then it's going to be, oh yeah, white would probably be better. See, I talk to myself all the time as I do this. You should see when I'm here by myself. So, get some more. And we're just going to pull it out. And see how it softens the line from the red carnation that we put in the center? Like so. So if you've got questions, ask away. If you think, if you have an idea, love hearing other people's ideas. So there's what you end up with. You end up with this very soft, just delicate petal. So there's one. Like I say, this is not going to take us very long. Make sure I keep them on the right side. So again, I'm going to put some red in the middle. So, and then I'm just going to take my orange and I'm going to pull it out, that monarch orange, and I'm pulling it out to, let's turn it around this way, the edge of the petal. And here's what you get. Okay, so let's keep going. So anybody got some exciting plans for their Tuesday? Or is it just kind of Tuesday? All right, let's do this. And we're just pushing it out to the end. And you don't have to be perfect, because remember, in nature, flowers are unique. And just keep working it. Hello, Anna. And there's 3. Like I say, this is not going to take us long at all. Like I say, this is the biggest part, is the coloring. And I thought it was just better. Like I could have done them all and had one to do. And then I went, no, I think today I want to do them all just to show them how fast this will go. Because I had somebody say to me, how long does it take you to make flowers? Well, yeah, the die cutting and the stamping, yeah, that's going to take you a while. But you know what? Then you get to match your colors, your flowers with the right, like to your project exactly. And look at how delicate these vellum flowers are. Okay, and remembering, we are doing our inking on the back side. This is not the side that the embossing was done on. So this is heat embossing that was done on these. And I guess I should tell you what they used. So I believe what they did is they inked with, let me get it out here. They inked with an embossing ink, and it is just a clear ink, and Tammy does have this in the store. Looks like so. Mine is a little juicy, so I'm going to set this aside so we're not going to end up with it everywhere. Not on my flowers. Kind of interesting. Not sure why it is, but it is. So they inked the stamp that created these flowers in the dry embossing ink, and then they would have taken an embossing powder. Now, in this case, they used white. Tammy does have white arriving in the store here in the next little while. So the Heroes Art embossing powder, and then they sprinkled that onto the embossing ink, and then the heat set it with a heat gun. So I will do that with you guys on another time. I'm just waiting for those the white embossing powder to get in the store before I do that. That was my plan with that. So there's another flower. I digressed for a second. See, get my, that's the orange. So let's do the middle. And then let's do the edges. Like I say, that harsh line that you get when you tap it down, when you take your second color and you start working it out to the end of the flat petal, it kind of just softens. That's what I like about the daubers. These are the Heartfelt Creations daubers that Tammy has in the store. So there's another one. We're almost done. Actually, Karen, yes. The pink paper that came with the kit, it was just you weren't getting to see what was happening. So that's why I switched it up to a white piece of paper. And hello, Karen. So nice you could join us today. So here we go. Well, this is a little tiny guy. And if you think you have too much ink on your dauber, just tap it off onto your paper. I do that quite regular. Look at how pretty they are. Okay, let's keep going. We're down to the last 5, and then we're going to start shaping. So tap in the middle, and then work with the lighter color. So I'm tapping in the middle with the carnation red, and then I'm working the color out to the edge of the petal with the monarch orange. And so, like, if you've got the Tangelo, use the Tangelo. And it, like I say, it's going to be in the store shortly. So there's another one. And always remember, we are inking on the back side of the flower that's been die cut and embossed. So the embossing is on the other side. There we go. Now, do be prepared that you are going to get ink on your hands, but that to me is just a sign that we've been crafting. At least that's the words I'm going to say. Now, if you want to make sure you're going back and forth with your inks, because if that red carnation was allowed to dry, you probably wouldn't get as soft lines between the two colors. You'd have that harsh line there. So that's why I like to go back and forth with my colors. But again, they're your flowers. You get to make them however you'd like them. Hello, Cheryl. So glad you could join us today. We're making the Delicate Vellum Floral Kit that Tammy brought in the store. It's from Heartfelt Creations. And we're creating the project together. So it's red carnation in the center. I'm on my last one with a tapping down motion. And then we take the Monarch Orange, which is my replacement for the Tangelo. And we're inking on the back side of the vellum. All right, so that's the flowers. They're so pretty. So I'm going to put my lids back on these inks. And yes, everything's going to fall forward probably. Okay. I'm going to put them back up in here. Put my daubers up so I don't. And then we're going to switch over and we're just going to do the last two of the leaves or the foliage. And for that, I'm going to use the library green. And again, this is just an optional step, is I'm going to go and I'm only inking the edge of the leaves. They suggested you use emerald green. I did not have emerald green, so I am using library green. And nobody's going to know the difference. And I am bending the vines as I'm going around. Let's do these guys down here. I just find it so soothing. When you're having one of those crazy days where everything, do this while you're watching TV. You know? Hey, no, I won't suggest that. Get myself in trouble. And just keep going. And I just bend down the bits of foliage that are in my way when I'm embossing the edges of the leaf. Oh, of course, today the phone's going to ring. Oh, my husband. No, my husband didn't get it.
Call from Vision 1 Alert.
Sorry about that. It's kind of like one of those days around here. Husband wants to go and use something that he can't use while I'm doing a live. Phone rings. See, that's the joys of lives. And I know you guys understand that. I just like this time we get to spend together. Ooh, I sound like Mr. Rogers there. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is the actual sprigs, I guess that's what I'm going to call them, the stems. I'm just using a tapping motion and kind of darkening them up. And then for down the stem, I'm going to ink up my dauber and I'm going to use the little triangle just to do the parts of the stem that I want color on. Okay, and you end up with something like that. So let's do the last one. Again, it's just a repeat, inking around the edges with your library green. Hello, Danielle. Thanks for popping in. And Dorothy, thanks for popping in. We are making the Heartfelt Delicate Vellum Floral Kit that Tammy has in the shop right now. I know this last night when I looked, there were still a few. And I'm hoping those that have already bought it, if you haven't made yours already, this little tutorial will prompt you to actually go ahead and create it. And I hope I inspire you to try to stamp on vellum, because we are going to do some of that in the not too distant future. And just enjoy the journey, as I call it. All right, we got all those ink. No, we got one more. So I'm just taking the harsh white edge away, because that is the nice thing about the stamp. It gives you a lot of dimension in the leaf itself. And then again, we're just going to do these little pieces that are sticking out. Like I say, it's your card, so you get to decide how much ink and where you have the ink. There we go. All right, so we've got all of our inking done, I believe. I don't think I'm going to want to go back and do any more inking, but you never know. I could change my mind. Remove that piece of scrap paper. Now we're going to get our tool in here, or a mat, I should say. And yeah, we're going to get the mat in. I am going to start by doing these leaves. So I'm on the back side. Now I'm going to use this middle one, and I'm going to use my smallest one. So as I said before, this is the flower shaping essential kit I'm using today. So it comes with 3 nibs and the stylus and this nice little mat. So let's just get started. Oh, I want to give it a little spray with water. So I'm just going to take it out here. There we go. And all the water does is it just softens down the fibers. And I'm just tapping around the edge of those leaves. That's all I'm doing. Just to give some dimension. This mat is a little firmer than my mat because my mat is old that I have with my deluxe kit. And this nib is a little smaller, but it will work. It's always good to try something new. See, I'm getting the hang of it. So I try never to touch whatever I'm shaping other than with the nib, if that makes sense. And we'll do this last. It's a beautiful kit, Tina. It's apt. And like I say, it's a great place to start if you have never, one, done any flowers. If you're looking for some quick, beautiful cards, because they stamped everything. You don't have to do any of that. All you had to do is ink your flowers. Okay, and now we're going to turn it over. So what I was doing while I was talking is I was just taking that larger nib and pulling down from the top of each leaf. And then I'm just going to turn it over. And all I'm doing is I'm kind of just pushing down on the stem. And that's where you get your dimension. And then I can sort of shape it a little bit with my hand. Let's do the last one. So again, we're just going to give it a little spritz of water. Only this time I'm not going to use the mat because it kind of will make my mat. Just gave this one a little 2 spritz. So this is just water in a spray bottle. And it just helps to soften the fibers. Hello, Wendy Shaw. How are you today? And just go around. I'm just tapping on the edge of the leaf just to start making it have some dimension. And keep going. And this is the technique I use when I make most flowers. Is I use a tapping motion around the edge. It is, and like I say, when I checked last night, there were still a few of these kits left in the shop. And I'm sorry it took me so long to, for those that bought this kit earlier, but with going to Utah and then coming home and life, this is my first opportunity to actually do this. So all I'm doing now is I'm just tapping down on the stem, and then I take my hands and I just kind of make it the way I want it. So there we go. There's all of our sprigs of leaves. We'll be cutting those apart. Now we're going to start on the vellum flowers. This is one I already shaped, and look how subtle it is. It's not shaped a lot, it's just shaped a little bit. Now, the thing to remember when you're shaping on vellum is there is a chance that some of your white embossing will come off of the vellum. It's hard to avoid. I know some people say that, oh, no, they can make it so that it doesn't. Exactly, Tina. A flower shaping class can change your world, because that's what it did for me. Like I say, I am no expert. I am just sharing some of the techniques I learned. So let's get some water on the back of this, the vellum. And again, all I'm doing is I'm kind of tapping around the edges. And you could use any flower you want to use. So you're going to see that my little mat is going to end up with little white pieces on it. That's some of the vellum kind of flaking off. And that's okay. And then, as I was taught, you kind of tickle the belly. And there's your flower. Okay. So we're just going to keep going. Hello, Miss Tammy. So glad you could join us. We're making that beautiful vellum, delicate vellum flower kit that you brought in that special purchase. And I know when I looked last night, there were still a few. Now, you don't want to push too hard, because if you push too hard, you're going to go through the vellum. So that's something to remember. Remember, vellum is a little bit more delicate than paper. And if you do go through, it's okay. Yay! So I don't know if any of you have heard, Tammy is opening a brick and mortar crafting store in Utah. So when you're traveling through Utah, you can now go to, if you're in the Salt Lake area, Country Craft Creations brick and mortar store. It's not open yet, but it will be in the not too distant future. And I forgot to ink this one. And as you can see, you know what? We still ended up with a pretty nice flower. Okay, let me ink this next one so that it's not as crisp. All the inking does is soften the fibers. I'm putting the water on the back of the vellum. And when you use the water, it just gives a softer look. So let's keep going. Isn't it windy? So if you get to come, or if you are coming to the April retreat, she is going to open the store for one day, because it's not quite going to be ready yet. And yes, she's going to open it special for everyone that's coming to that spring retreat. Okay, we're getting closer. And then, of course, if you're coming in the fall, like Tina is saying, it definitely will be open by fall. So just tapping around the edges of your vellum leaves, making sure your pressure is not too heavy. And remember, I'm using the Essentials kit, not the deluxe kit today, just to give you, partly because what I did, because I don't have all my nibs. And keep going. And you know what? It will be here before we know it, Wendy. Before we know it, we're all going to be sitting in a room, or some of us are going to be sitting in a room all together, crafting, laughing. If you have never had the opportunity to go to one of Tammy's retreats, keep watching Scrapbookers, save your pennies, start a retreat jar, and then in 2023, because she hasn't announced the retreats for 2023 yet, maybe you'll get to come. And I think Sally has said this. Yes, it's expensive by the time you have to pay for a flight and a hotel room. But you know what? The friendships you make, it's like a mini holiday, doing your favorite thing. And it's just amazing. The friends I have made from retreats. Yeah, that's all I can say. And then tickle the belly. And we're almost done. Like I say, this is a process today. This is like me making an album and then we decorate it. But I never decorate my albums with you guys. I just make. So we're going to make this flower. And like I say, don't worry about the bits of vellum that are coming off the flower. That's going to happen. Nothing you can do about it. Down to the last few little ones. So I'm going to spray these guys all at the same time. Take my mat. Let's get these guys done. Let's put the lid back on these. So you're getting to see the whole process of how I make flowers. I shouldn't say this out loud because this is now when it's going to happen. I can't believe I haven't managed to poke through the vellum, because I'm notorious for that when I'm making flowers. Tickle its belly. I like to use the smaller nib that I have for around the edges. And again, like I said, I try not to touch what I'm shaping. Kind of just let things go where they want to go. And it's okay if you get some marks on your petals. No one's going to see them because I will show you. So as I'm tapping, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. There's a few little white dots here. That's where I pressed a little hard on the vellum, but it's okay because flowers have all those unique properties to them. And I'm just pressing until the leaves, the sides of the leaves start lifting up, or the sides of the petals. Hello, Miss Sandy. Glad you could join us on a Tuesday. I know. What am I doing on a live on Tuesday? I'm making up for the live I was supposed to do last Friday and then wasn't feeling well. That's what I'm doing. All right. So there's all of our flowers shaped. And there is the wonderful embossing powder on my mat. We're just going to tap it off. And we are going to be really, really safe today. I am going to take my stylus, because I probably am going to want it again. I'm going to put it up far from the edge of my desk today. So if you're just joining, as I said earlier, I lost my other stylus and 2 nibs into my recycling bin, and they left my house. So not a happy camper. All right, so we're going to pull out our first card. And I don't know if I'm going to be doing these in the order that they are on the back. I'm going to turn it around because this is where I'm going to go rogue. So there are instructions. There's instructions of what you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to cut things and all that wonderful thing. And I am not going to do any of these, okay? Just to let you know that this is where I turn rogue. Oh yes, Wendy, I was not a happy camper when I discovered that on Saturday night. Okay, so this particular card says, I am so grateful for you. And look at this. It is a die cut card. I don't know which die they use, but it's one of their many dies that they have. I should have, maybe it does say on the back. I believe it does. Booklet frame die, regal frame die, swirly accents. So there's a whole bunch of dies that they used on the back. I'm not going to try and figure out which one. Now, you could ink the edges of this paper if you wanted to. I'm not going to stay. And I'm probably going to use more pop dots than what they're recommending, but that's because I love to pop things up. So just give me a second to pull out my pop dots, and hopefully I have some thin ones, because that's what I want. And I'm going to use, I don't really want to use my black ones, so just bear with me for a second. Well, I take a boo. Gotta get to my pop dots. Just gonna leave my thin ones laying out there for a second. It might have to be those because I don't seem to have any thin. I got these ones. I'm going to use these ones. Tammy does sell thin pop dots in the store. The ones I'm using. I know, Sandy, I was beside myself when I realized what I had done. Because I heard something hit the trash can. And then it left my brain to, like, I kind of looked a little and then I moved on to something else. And then the rest was history. And have them both out. All right, so let's turn these guys over. I usually do use tweezers when I use my pop dots. I'm just going to put some pop dots. I get told I'm a little heavy-handed with pop dots. Everyone has their own requirement of pop dots. I don't like to have anything that kind of falls in. That's my problem. So let's take off the backing. And so I believe this is the Grateful for You card that we're creating first. Just ignore what I'm doing. If you can see, my little pieces are going to end up on the floor. And then after, I'll take the vacuum and vacuum them up. It's just faster that way. All right. So just line this up with the edge of the card. Something like that. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. Got the back off that one already. That's okay. One there. And keep going. So are there any other questions you guys have today that I might be able to answer? No? Now, I really hope when my husband came in here, he closed the door behind him when he went out, or I'm going to have to leave you guys again because my Roomba is starting up again, and it's going to want to come in this room, and it's not going to today. Normally, I do my lives at 1 o'clock, but I couldn't do a 1 o'clock today. So just line up the edges. That's what I'm worried about. I'm more worried about having this here lined up with the edges of the card. Look at that already. How pretty is that? That is gorgeous. Except I need to fix something. I need to get rid of my tape, this foam tape. So I'm just going to gently, using my straight edge, hopefully I can pick this off, or I'll go back after and really, so be careful how far to the edge you go with your foam dots, okay? Just an FYI. There we go, but I fixed it. No big deal. So here we go. And then I am going to use my art glitter glue, dries clear, to do this. Hopefully it's going to cooperate. Yeah, it's going to. And I'm just kind of dabbing it. And remember, this stuff dries clear, which is kind of nice. Just kind of, you don't want to wait too long. Again. All right. And then I got to take my tweezers because I want to line it up. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to center it on top of the green. Something like this. And that's where my tweezers come in handy. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, just tap it down. And then we're going to do the same on the second one. And like I say, on the back of the die, it tells you what dies you're using. On the back of the die, on the back of the instruction page. And let's put a little here too. And then I'll check for lay it down. Something like so. There we go. Look at how fast this is coming together. Isn't that crazy? And then let's see. So we are going to use we are using the leaves that do not have any sprigs coming out of them. So like there's two different types of leaves here. We got one with no sprigs and one with sprigs, as I'm calling it. Okay. So I am looking at my picture and I'm going, I believe I want to cut this because it's going to be here. So I'm just going to, for 1 second, check the back. Yeah, so it says to cut. It says to cut this in half. And I'm going, really? I almost want to cut it into threes when I look at that picture. So maybe what we'll do is we'll put together the couple of flowers it's asking us to put together. So it's asking us to put together a big flower, like so. So let's do that next. And I'm going to need my mat back in here. And I'm probably going to put my centers in all these flowers now to give them a chance to dry too. So I'm putting some adhesive on the back of this petal. And then I'm going to offset these two petals. And I need my stylist that ended up almost where the other one did. Now this takes a little time because you got to hold it down while the art glitter glue adheres to the vellum. And I guess you could use a glue gun if you wanted to speed this up. I'm not going to. because I'm going to put together my flowers. You know what? I'm going to do this different. I'm going to say that these 4 big ones, no, I was right. Okay, go back, Bonnie. You have 1 really big flower, and then you have 2 that are smaller, it appears. So that's going to go on that one, and this is going to go on this one. Yes, or at least that's how I'm doing mine. So there we go. It had time to dry. So let's do these other 2. And again, offset your petals. And it did not hold. All right, so we're going to hold it with my finger. Just needs that couple of seconds to dry. Hopefully it catches, or I'm going to pull out the hot glue gun. I think I'm going to pull out the hot glue gun because it's not wanting to adhere the way I want to, and it's going to become frustrating for you guys to watch as I'm having to wait for them to dry. So we're just going to plug in our hot glue gun. And I'm really hoping it's going to reach as far as I need it to reach right now. Okay, and it will. Okay, so we're going to keep trying with this, but I think we're going to get real frustrated here real fast. So that's why I'm going to just get my hot glue gun. That one's finally adhered. That one is adhered. So they just take, oh, it would help if I had some glue on it, wouldn't it? They just take a little while, like not long. So if you just take your time, don't feel like you're being rushed. That was kind of how I was feeling. And like I said before, I am by far not a colorist. I just like to play. This guy up here too. All right, now I'm going to bring in my trusty little mat because I'm going to do these guys all at the same time. We're going to put our prills in the second, and I'm going to cheat because I'm going to use my bottle instead of a little baggie just for efficiency and time. Since I'm trying to do these all at the same time. Okay, so we're going to put some glue in the center of them all. And this way our prills are going to have a couple of seconds to dry too. Stay down. There we go. Okay, everybody's got some glue in their center. Awesome. And let's prill the centers. That's why I always do this in something. You could use a cardboard box to do this because you want to save your prills. Prills go a long way. There's 1. And there's 2. And if I had been being neater, I wouldn't have this huge mess, but that's what the container's for. And 3. And 4. Aren't they gorgeous? And as we do each step, you're going to be amazed at what we've got going on here. All right, they're all done. We'll pour this back into the bottle a little later, unless I end up with a mess all over. All right, let's bring the card back in. So it said to cut this in half, and I'm going really in half. Half is about there. And it wants me to put half of it up here. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then we're taking a big one, big flower, and it's going sort of right here in the center. All right, so here comes the glue gun. Bear with me. There we go. Here comes the glue. Sorry, it's a brand new glue gun. And so I have to give it a second to actually do what it needs to do. Okay, so while we're waiting, we're going to tack down our leaves. I'm going to say a little more to the outside. So I'm just going to put some glue at the very bottom of this little stack of leaves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of going to push it down. Hi, Sheila. Now we're going to do it. Repeat with the other one. I'm just putting a little glue at the bottom of these leaves. And I'm just something like that. Now, like I say, I think I've said this before, I'm not a big fan of hot glue. So let's see if I'm going to like this, if this is going to work for me. Okay, so I'm going to put this one right about here. And then it wants a little bit bigger one someplace there. I'm going to start going rogue here in a second. Now, what I'm finding is because the vellum is a little harder for the art glitter glue to tack to, that using my hot glue gun is actually a good thing in this case. Okay, and we're going to put a little guy right about here. Because with the hot glue, it doesn't have to, look how pretty that is already. And that's something falling. What else is new? All right, now let's work up from the top. Now I'm almost thinking, do I want to put, just let me see here for a second. Remember I said these are the butterflies that Tammy has in the store? No. I kind of think I want this butterfly on here. Something like that, maybe? Oh, I do like that. And then we're going to have a flower like this. And then one of these smaller guys over here. Oh, yes, I see this butterfly on my card. So I'm going to use the glue gun because I want to put this butterfly sort of in just so he's peeking out. I don't want the whole thing showing. Oh, he's cute. I like him there. Okay, and let's do this one. And again, now mine is not going to look exactly like the picture because, well, like I said, I told you I was probably going rogue. And I did. So if you want like the picture, then follow the diagram and look at how sweet is this. Can you guys see all of that? Now remember, the butterflies are in the store under Country Craft Creation butterfly. I'm just getting rid of some glue strings that from the hot glue gun. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I absolutely love that. Love, love, love. Oh, it's gorgeous. Love it. Okay, so we're going to set this card aside and we're going to go on to card 2. Now, card 2 is this one that says, thinking of you. So we're going to get it out of its packaging. I don't know if I'm going to use a, don't know if I'm going to use a butterfly on this one, but we're going to see, okay? All right, so it's another shaped card. So there's the base. Nice weight too. And then we have this lovely little piece. And I am going to pop dot this piece up, I think. So for time efficiency, I'm probably just going to pop it up in the big part. Yes, if I was off camera, I might try and add adhesive to some of these other areas. I might add some little pop dots. I'm going to probably cut this. Just going to cut 2 of these smaller ones in half and see if they're going to fit where I want them. Yes, they will. I'm just putting them on. I'll hook this up so you can see. I'm just putting them on these corners sort of hold down the corners a little bit. But like I say, that's, again, you could actually glue it with the art glitter glue too. So I'm cutting this one actually in 4ths. Now it's on my fingers. Let's do the last and one more. They're such pretty cards. All right. Don't think we need that anymore. See, my workspace gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now you're saying you forgot to put the frosting on them. I will go back at the end and probably do my frosting and do my other glitter on the flowers. Like, to be honest with you, I don't think they need it with the embossing on the vellum, but I know that it will take it up to another level, so we will go back and do that. And getting close here, ladies. Thank you for staying with me. I knew this was going to be a long tutorial because of just what we were creating, and considering I was going to create it all with you. And if you've got questions, please feel free to ask. And if got a suggestion, like I say, I am not an expert. I just know what I like. So we're just going to center this. Something like that. Oh, this color. And then it says thinking of you, and we're going to pop this up too. Okay. And I'm just going to take 3 of these bigger pop dots and kind of just run them down the center. Something like this. And it's going to go right in here, centered. And then what I have happening here is I'm going to cut this in half. May not need to be now that I'm kind of looking at it. You know what? No, this one doesn't need to be cut because it's big enough that you just want to be able to see the words. So I want to be able to see the thinking of it, thinking of you. I'm actually going to turn it around because I think I like this. No, I want it the other way. They looked upside down when I had them that way. All right, let's get a little glue. And I'm only going to put some glue on the stem here. I'll hold it up so you can see. So I'm just putting glue on that part of the stem. And then I'm just going to position this kind of how I want it. I kind of did more there. I think I like that. All right. And they put one big flower sort of here in the middle. And I'm using the hot glue again. And only because it does dry faster. And then they want a flower here. So I'm using the medium-sized flowers and a flower up here like so. Okay, got that. Don't think there's room to put a butterfly on this one. But you never know. I could decide. I'm going to tuck this guy in. And I'm kind of turning the petal so that it covers the stem of the leaves. And I often tuck flowers in underneath each other just because I think they look prettier that way. And of course, this is that old rule of 3 at work here, right? All right. And I'm just going to try something. No, this guy is too big. He's going to be too much. Yeah, he's too much. And the little guy, try this one. Definitely not the gold one. But you know what? This bronze one might look nice over there. I don't know. I'm going to think on this for a bit. I often do this. I may not glue it right down right away because I may need time to think. Let's see. It's too much happening over here for me. So I'm not going to glue down this butterfly right now because it's not quite saying to me, yes, put him there. He looks like he's floating in midair, and I don't know if I like that or not. So there's card 2. And we're going to go back and we're going to do all of our fussy stuff after. So let's get card 3 out here. I don't think I need scissors anymore. And like I say, I don't know if I'm going to go back and put those white pearls on because I'm looking at them now going, it's kind of white on white. I'm not sure I like that. All right. So this is the book card. And we're going to do some shaping of this card, okay? At least I'm going to do some shaping of this card. So there's your card base, just like a book. And then we got the lace level, or the lace book, as I kind of going to call it, that goes on top, something like that. And then we have the green piece that goes next. And then we have the book itself. So with the 2 pieces I want to do, don't know if I want to shape this white one. I don't think I do. I think I only want to shape the 2 pattern ones. So I'm going to bring in my shaping mat again, turn it over to the back side. I am going to give it a wee squirt. I think all I'm going to do on this green one is just shape a little along the edges. And I'm going to get out this biggest nib. I just think I want to that's all I'm going to do is I just want to shape along the edges. Yeah. All right. And then this guy, he's going to get a little bit more shaping as far as I'm concerned. Just a little squirt of water. And again, just along the bottom. Things are falling in on me. Down and around. Okay, and I'm just going to this side and softening my lines a little. Just want my pages to be lifted, our page to be lifted a little bit. All right. So it's going on here like so. Turn this around the right way. Like so. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue down the center of the book pages here. I'm going to line them up like so. There we go. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up, but for this one I want some bigger pop dots. I want the thicker pop dots. And I only have little ones of those, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of lift up my page a bit. That's my plan anyway. Like so, I'm sort of lifting the page up just a touch, and then I'm adhering it. So we kind of get something like that going on. Be a little too much. Maybe I want to soften that. There we go, maybe like that. Yes, that's better. And then we're just going to rinse and repeat here on the other side. One here. And one here. So anybody got any questions about what I'm doing? Just the same thing, just a little, something like that. I kind of almost went through the paper there, so I'm going to have to camouflage that. I see a butterfly. I see a butterfly in the future of this particular card. Something like that to hide what I did there. Oh, I like that there, actually. Okay, so now let's adhere. Get this out of my way for a second. Let's adhere the lacy book die piece to the front of the card. And for this, I'm actually going to use my art glitter glue. And I'm actually adding the glue to the base of the front of the card. Like I said, I had no intentions of following the directions on the back of the cover page because I knew that wasn't going to work in my world. So what we want to do is we're lining up something, whoops, something like this. Okay, and you can still, it opens, that's what we want it, and give it a little burnish. Okay, and then we are going to use some pop dots on the back of this because this fits right here in this space. You could have inked these edges if you wanted to, but I did not. Okay, so now we're going to get some pop dots. And I believe I'm only going to put pop dots on the outer edge. Yes. Remove the backing. Oh, good. Thanks, Sheila. Like I said, this was going to be all process. You were going to hear my brain figuring things out. Because I read the instructions and I went, okay, but what if I want to change it a little bit? So there's the card down, all the layers down. I love it. And then we're going to take this little arrow and it goes right down the center. And you know what? It looks like it has some of this frosting on it. So I think I'm going to do that now because I just think it would be easier for me to add that frosting. So I can bring this white piece of paper back in, folding it in half. And I'm going to get a sponge from over here. Sorry, it's been a long time talking. So on the front of this arrow, that's actually the seam of the book, I've added smart glitter glue, and now I'm going to tap it with my sponge. Might need a little bit more because I want pretty much coverage on the whole thing. Is how I'm looking at this. And again, I'm going to use from my container, because it's just easier than trying to get out of a little Ziploc bag. I'll add those little bits to my container. All right. Did I get the right one? Yeah, the frosting. So remember, the frosting sort of has a little bit of shards in it and stuff. Oh yeah. I can just look at that. Look at how pretty that is. Hope you guys can see this sparkle. I think it's gorgeous. Okay, let's pour this stuff back in before I make a huge mess. Okay. And then let's put the lid on it. I really like these little plastic lids that are on the inside of the bottle. It actually keeps the mess down to a minimum, because I'm losing my stylus in the recycling is not a first. I make messes all the time. Okay, and we're going to do this. Something like that. And you could have popped this up. I just chose not to. There we go. Looks a little crooked. I think I like that better. There we go. Yes. All right. So now let's add our decorative elements that are going over here. This is going to be something like yay. So again, I'm just putting a little glue just in the center of the stem. And then I'm kind of deciding how I want to glue this. Now you could cut it up. I'm just choosing not to. And then I'm going to go back to using my hot glue for the vellum flowers. It's just easier. And the big guy's going to go in the center. No, it didn't stick them down. Try again. There we go. And then my little guy is going to go right here, because I want him over this little bit of a stem that's sticking out. I could cut that off too if I wanted to, but I'm not going to today, because I'm going to do this instead. There's that one. And then the last flower is going up at the top. So again, it's the rule of 3 at work. And if you haven't ever heard of the rule of 3, it's you try to group things in 3s or an odd number. It doesn't always have to be 3, but odd number. So, and then because I almost went through the paper, I think my little I'm going to put my butterfly like right there, like it's just taken off. I'm using the hot glue again. All right. It's going to go right there to cover my little oops. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. There's card 3. And now the only thing we have left to do, just going to unplug this heat gun because we're done with that. So I used these smaller butterflies, but I used the silver ones. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm taking glue and I'm going to just put it on the, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take my little nib off of it because it'll just go a little quicker. Okay, that's a little bit more than I want it, so I'm going to rub it in there with my finger. Okay, and then I'm just going to take this a little more. Tapping it. And like I say, this here is your personal preference when you want to put your glue on for sparkles. So I used frosting. 1 second here. Need my bigger container since my other one does have. And again, I'm just going to use the crystal clear. Pull the lid off of this. And I'm just going to sprinkle. And you could have done this first. I unfortunately have this thing that I like to do it after I get my cards on. Don't know why. And then if I think I need more, I can go back and add more glue. Where I might like it. Go back in with the sprinkles again. And of course, remember, it's going to dry clear. I got a little heavy-handed with the glue, but it will dry clear. And can you guys see that? Just wait a second till I catch up. There we go. So we've got the beautiful sparkle. Now, I'm not going to bore you by going back and putting them on all 3 cards, but you could go in again. You might want to just leave it, or you can go in and dab your glue and then sparkle them all up. Like I say, those of you that know me well know that I'm a less is more when it comes to sparkling, all that good stuff. But there are those 3, a little rogue on my part, cards today, and they're absolutely stunning. So there you go. There you go. You never know, Sheila. You just never know what I might do. Thanks so much, everybody, for loving them. Sorry for the mess, but this is the way. This is actually the way I process. So I hope everybody has an amazing rest their Tuesday. Remember, I'm going to be live on Friday, and Friday we are going to be working on this card kit, simple card kit from Simple Stories Rise and Shine. Again, it's got butterflies in it. Probably going to go rogue someplace along the way. But for those of you that don't know about these card kits, I want to introduce them to you. Tammy's got all kinds of them in the store. There's just because cards, there's Christmas cards, I believe there's even some Halloween cards in there. So we're going to be making these cards on Friday. I hope that you'll come and join me for just the time spent together. And I will catch you. I thought that question was for me, Tina. I am definitely going to see you guys on Friday. I hope, like I say, everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.